Hello, fellow Fujifilm fiends. In this late evening photo walk, I'm gonna put the little Fujifilm zoom lens that could, the economy zoom lens that could, the Fujifilm 15 to 45mm f3.5 to 5.6 OIS PZ lens through its paces. I'll explain what all of that means right away. As I make my way through the city's periphery, let me tell you more about this little zoom lens that could. It's part of the XC line, making it an economy product. You can see that because, for example, the lens mount is plastic. OIS means optical image stabilization, and PZ means power zoom, which means that when you zoom, the barrel doesn't extend and it's a rocker action instead of a zoom ring. However, its economy status does not prevent me from taking the pictures that I want to take as I start photographing this, what I believe is a phone cable tower, where storks have decided to build their nest. As I move further and further away from civilization, let me tell you a little bit more about the day-to-day use of this lens. So, unlike more expensive Fujifilm lenses, this zoom lens also lacks the aperture ring, meaning that has to be set through a command dial on your camera. In my case, I'm using the Fujifilm X-T4. I don't think I mentioned it before. So in a way, it's a high-low mix. It's a low-end lens on a high-end camera. But hey, it works. It serves its purpose very well. But yes, what you have to keep in mind is that you don't have that immediacy of the aperture ring. You have to use your on-camera controls for that, on-camera dials, but that's pretty easy to do. And then also the lack of zoom ring and the fact that instead of a zoom ring, it uses a zoom rocker. The zooming and sort of framing action by using the zoom ring is less immediate as you use a sort of rocker, which creates a focus rack, kind of very similar to what you might have experienced using an old camcorder in the 90s or early 2000s. While some might see these things and the absence of certain controls as shortcomings, it means that the lens is very light. Yes, it's plasticky. No, its construction doesn't fill me with confidence, but it is extremely light and compact. And we're just in time for our next set of photos of this meteorological station, which I really like the design. There was actually someone inside operating something or collecting data. It was pretty cool. As I move past the nondescript church in order to reach nondescript blocks of grey flats, it's worth mentioning that, true to type, I'm using this lens in conditions where it's not supposed to shine, namely low light. The day is definitely waning. We're late into the evening. The GoPro footage that you're seeing, the POV, point of view footage that you're seeing, is brighter than what the ambient light was when I was shooting. And obviously the aperture range of this lens means that it doesn't let in that much light compared to more expensive lenses. But thanks to the Fujifilm X-T4's IBIS and its low light sensor performance, I'm able to both crank the ISO a bit and shoot at lower shutter speeds regardless of the lighting. Oh, I dropped my lens cap there in order to get the shots that I need. Let's make our way to that stylish office building in the distance for our next set of photos. So for the shots so far, I'm pretty sure I've primarily been using classic negative, and that's been working quite well. Surprisingly, classic negative works well in low light, bringing out areas of detail that you wouldn't expect. There's a sort of, the way that it handles contrast, I guess, is very appealing. And that's a classic negative shot, I'm pretty sure. and that's a classic chrome shot. You can see the difference in what each one brings out. That combined with the subtle framing differences gives both photos a very contrasting style. As we walk past the stylish office building, I believe that it's for the Securitas company, the next step is to go over a highway bridge in order to reach a shopping mall that's in the outskirts of the city. As you can see, the light is falling fast, the day is dying. This overpass, this highway bridge actually has this kind of stylish curved metalwork which is supporting the lighting, the street lighting. And here I tried to take some shots of the highway itself. Tried some long exposures, I think, but the results are not worth showing. It's kind of shaky. I didn't get the results that I was hoping for. There were no like good light trails, you know, car lights kind of just zooming into the perspective's end and that sort of thing. It just wasn't happening. That's why I'm trying with different settings several times, experimenting, but sadly not getting the final shots that I was hoping for. So I make my way down the bridge, hesitate to try again on the highway vistas, but it's not worth it. But obviously, there we go, the lights come on, and I mean, that was very fortuitous. It's time to take the shot, and there we are. Very pleased with this one. The perspective is just wonderful. I think it was kind of the perspective effect that I was trying to get with a highway, but I achieved it somewhere else. And this just looked really good to me, and I'm pretty sure here I'm not using classic negative or classic chrome, but maybe it was a Astia or something like that, just to boost those colors a bit, and very happy with how that came out. In any case, we're reaching the end of the photo walk. That was another aborted attempt at a shot. Those buildings actually were quite interesting for once, because all these apartment buildings are pretty boring, pretty flat, but that one had some cool textures. Anyways, here's a little quiet corner, some warehouse exits, but that strong blue is really pleasing and it came out very well. That might be classic negative there, and this I'm not sure. Maybe more Astia, the building that I was talking about. I got closer to it and got the shots that I was after. Landscape shot of the same thing. I loved the apartment lights coming through, and then last couple of shots of a mall parking entrance. Thank you so much for watching.